Alrighty, well, welcome back. Rain stopped, snow's gone, sun's out. It's just blowing a hurricane out there. So we'll go and have a look in a minute. But we're going to take a quick look around in here and catch up with a few things from the other week there. So first and foremost, pretty quickly, here's a look at the oak that we got out of the track in a few videos back, and really happy with how it looks. It's got quite a bit of progressive budding, all poking through and looking very spring-like, so hopefully this will be coming along this growing season. Yeah, so all in all, really pleased with this oak that we got out. Starting to get lots of buds, like I say. Going to get some strong roots growing in there. Probably going to change with the planting angle at some point in the future, but all in all, that's looking good. Yep, there's the spruce as well. So not quite easy to see there, could do with a blank background to put it on, but it's out of the track a few weeks ago. Really happy with that. It's going to just carry on with its journey now, so we'll document that as we go along. Yeah, I think eventually we'll get a nice tree out of that. So that spruce and that oak came out on the same day, so that's always a good result. That's a good day out, Yamadori collecting. Another piece of Yamadori I'm going to show you now is a yew, a Taxus baccata, that I got about 12 years ago out of another old disused railway bank, that was, and it was originally about 4 foot tall. And I've got some other photos of that. If I can dig them out, I'll insert them in the video somewhere around about here, and we'll see if we can just have a look how that's progressed. But last year I let it really grow out. I let both the yews grow out last year, this one and that one, just to get lots of strength back into them, because I had sort of styled them a bit hard the previous years. So, but yeah, this one used to be about 4 foot, and about 3 or 4 years back I decided that, after listening to someone say, well, I just heard a comment one day, and can't even remember where it was. I was at some bonsai gathering and I heard someone say you should always try and make the smallest tree possible. Now that didn't necessarily mean the shortest tree possible, but it kind of meant, for me, it meant the smallest tree possible with the material you're working with. Like, try and create as compact an image, so to speak. It's probably not verbalising very well, but I know how I interpreted it. So yeah, this yew's had some really good carving done on it by one of the UK's finest, so he knows who he is. And I've got a bit of carving to do in this one eventually. Probably going to open that sherry all the way up, but that was the natural deadwood that was on it, and I did a few years back take it all the way to the top. So, but where it's grown out, we'll get that back exposed and open up the trunk line, and just here. So that's in here for a good trim back and maybe a repot, but I think it's going to stay in that pot this year, and that one's going to stay in that pot. It only went in there last year, so I'll probably leave those both for another year or two before they get potted. So yeah, we're going to have a look at those. This flowering quince here, going to have a look at that very shortly as well. That's in for just its like pre-growing season trim back, getting ready to pop out with lots of beautiful red quince flowers, so that's a delight. It really is a delight, and yeah, we'll have a look at that when it follow that along. I spoke about that larch in the last video. We're going to repot that as well, maybe into a nice pot, and do a tiny little bit of pruning back. Probably going to go not much pruning back at all, but that branch there that protrudes up, I'm probably going to lose that completely, because I've recently changed the planting angle on it. Because what I want to do is I want to do more of a nagari style, you know, exposed root cascade with that. So I'm hoping that that's going to look good in the end. It's a bit windy, so I think what we're going to do then is head back in. Okay, well, let's grab that white pine then and get that outside. We can start to work on that out there. It's really it's got some good movement in it, this tree. It's lovely. I reckon it might have been one of those ones they wrap the wire around and let the wire get ground in there like they do. So anyway, let's get set up out here, shall we? Slap it on the table. And alrighty, so let's get this white pine sorted out and we'll get it into that brown pot there and see what the roots are like. Seen them in a couple of years, so that's always interesting. Let's have a look. Alright, well, there we are. Lots of riser tone in there anyway, nice, always good to see. Really compact root ball, don't know if you can see that very well, but anyway, so this, in a minute, we're going to lose maybe a third of this root ball, and then we'll be sitting in that pot quite nicely. Probably going to lose a bit off of the top as well, scrape some back off of the top, get some out the bottom, and then we'll fill it in with some nice fresh soil, secure it in the pot, and I think maybe I'm going to change the planting angle on it a bit, so we may do more of this sort of thing. We might give it a tilt, so yeah, just a bit upright. I think it's good, but even if it came to there, it just gives it a little bit more, accentuates the movement in the trunk a bit more. So I think maybe I'm just going to come and have a quick look at that from back there. Okay, I'm just going to try and move the camera in a bit more, so bear with for a minute. Hopefully we can see a bit better. So yeah, what we're going to do now then is start removing some soil from the underside of here, and get that all raked out. So first of all, I'm just going to start scraping all the old moss off the surface. Start from the top. See if we can find a few more of those surface roots. Find a bit more of the base of the trunk. Some nice live white roots, that's what we want to see. Get a shot of all those dead black rotten roots. Start to get in there with an old chopstick, just loosen it up, break it up. Now there's the old mesh. Let's see if we can dig out the other bit. And there it is. There's the other bit that's been in there a good few years. I'll start to tease these roots out a bit more now. Well, hopefully you can see that we've reduced the roots by about a third there. We've removed a fair whack of the old soil, and I'm just going to go and trim off the round the root ball now. It's always good to leave a cut with a nice pair of sharp scissors. A sharp cut's always going to produce new fresh root growth much better than some old choppy blunt thing. So I'm just going to trim it down a bit, and then we'll take a look. So all these old, I'll get shot of those. So anything surface roots, gonna trim these roots back. You should use my older scissors really for that. Trim the roots down by about a third now. By doing this, we promote new root growth, and then promoted new root growth promotes new tip growth. So providing the roots are growing, the tips will grow, and the bit in the middle, well, that could be 1,000 years old if necessary. So anyway, we've got that down by about a third there, and lots of room in this new pot now. I mean, in all honesty, it would go back in the old pot with lots of fresh room to grow, but I want to change it out to a different pot anyway. So we're going to go back into this pot here, I think, and slightly change the planting angle, but just a wee bit, and then we'll start preparing the pot.